Also on the right panel, there is a fuel gauge, optional front and rear working light switches, optional beacon switch, and a dome lamp. Now that you're familiar with the controls you'll use to operate the skid steer loader, it's time to start. Operating techniques and tips. Before you do anything, make sure no one is on or close to the machine. Adjust your seat. Fasten your seat belt. Lower the armrest. Make sure the hydraulic controls are in neutral. Set the throttle to full throttle. Press the starting aid switch if necessary. Now, turn the key to start. Set the throttle to half throttle during warm-up. Disengage the parking brake. Once the brake is released, you'll be able to use the joystick controls. Always warm up the engine and hydrostatic system. Use this time to glance at the instrument panel to make sure no warning lights are on. Also, check the hydraulics by raising the lift arm. Tilt the work tool to get the hydraulic flow cycling. Now, lower the lift arms and tilt the work tool backward. You're ready to move the left joystick forward. Start slowly as you move ahead. Let's begin by hooking up the work tool. Before you attach a work tool, check the proper procedures in your operation and maintenance manual. Slope the coupler forward as you slowly drive into the work tool. Lift and tilt the coupler and work tool back to allow the tool to fully seat. Lower the work tool. Once the pins align with the holes, turn the machine off and then turn the key to the on position. Now, relieve the hose line hydraulic pressure. Make sure the parking brake light is off. Then, press the auxiliary hydraulic switches several times to relieve the pressure. Safely exit, then lock the work tool into place with the coupler wedges. Check beneath the coupler to make sure both pins are extending out of the holes in the work tool mounting bracket. Before you hook the hydraulic lines up, route the lines through the hose guide on the left lift arm. Check your operations and maintenance manual for the proper routing for each type of work tool. Make sure they're clean. Connect the hydraulic lines from the work tool to the auxiliary hydraulic connectors. To make sure the work tool is secure, tilt the work tool down, putting pressure on it. Then back drag it on the ground to check to see that there's no movement between the work tool and the coupler. Check your operations and maintenance manual for specific instructions for each type of work tool. To disconnect a work tool, relieve the auxiliary hydraulic pressure, disconnect all of the lines, and uncouple the work tool. There are a couple of important things to remember when using either a general purpose or multi-purpose bucket. Try to keep the lift arms down and the bucket low to absorb shock through the frame instead of the lift arms. Keep all 4 tires on the ground. When loading, keep moving forward into the pile and curl the bucket as the material starts to feed into it. When fitted with pallet forks, the Caterpillar skid steer loader becomes an efficient material handling machine. When using forks, always remember to keep the load low. Don't turn quickly while a load is raised. This can be a tipping hazard. Always adjust the forks to the proper width for the material being carried. Once the load is picked up, tilt the pallet forks back toward the skid steer loader to help prevent the load from moving. We've walked you through some of the basic procedures, but before you try any of them, you need to know some important do's and don'ts. We can't anticipate every potentially hazardous situation, but these serve as good rules of thumb. First, never overload the work tool. Read your manual for the operating limits. Always keep the work tool low for the best stability. When operating on a slope, never move sideways. Travel up and down slopes with the heaviest end of your machine uphill. Never take on a rider. The machine is equipped for only one person. Never leave the operator's seat while the engine is running. Never try to start the machine from outside the cab. Always keep your hands and feet in the cab. Make sure that your machine has the proper safety equipment for the tool that you're using. For example, when you're using a hammer or a work tool which may create flying debris, your machine should be equipped with a front door. Machine shutdown. Always park the machine on level ground. Always lower your lift arms, resting the work tool firmly on the ground. Let the machine idle for a few minutes. Turn off the engine. Remove the key. Always remember to face the machine and maintain 3 points of contact as you get out. Do a final walk around to make sure everything is in good shape. Machine transport. To haul the skid steer loader from site to site, first, select a trailer based on the weight and dimensions of the machine and work tool found in your operation and maintenance manual. Be sure to obey all state and local laws governing the weight, width, and length of a load. Position the ramps so the machine will be centered in the trailer. The ramp spacing should match the tire tread width. Always travel on the ramp with the heaviest end uphill. That is usually the rear of the loader. Know that certain work tools can alter that. Position the skid steer loader approximately centered over the trailer axles. Lower the work tool so it rests firmly on the trailer. Stop the engine and remove the key. Use both tie-downs on the rear bumper and both on the front of the frame, under the steps. The Caterpillar Skid Steer Loader, for exceptional performance and versatility, ease of operation, serviceability, and customer support. All you expect from CAT, only smaller.